Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 82 of the Deep Fried Neurons podcast. This podcast was also supposed to be an interview, but the guest I had planned to bring on did not have a stable internet at this very moment. So we had to cancel that, and it is due on a further notice. Like, I'm not giving up on that one, but I do want to create another one. But because of unfortunate circumstances, I am. That's just a silly little joke. I'm sorry. Due to unfortunate circumstances, I've had to do this alone, but I found content worth sharing, so I'm just gonna cue the fucking. One of the ways that wildfires spread is, one of the reasons more accurately is when the perfect conditions for a wildfire are just there, and all it needs is a setting of catalyst event for it to go completely wild and then burn down maybe a state or like a city or something like that. Especially with the California wildfires, I think 2 or 3 years ago, that would be the ideal example. But also, the Himalayan fires that happened about 2 years ago would be the same example. A transformer got off, and then dry plants that had not seen water for a while after because monsoon was a little far away sort of took all of that, and then it just flew into a catastrophe. I don't know enough about the Assam fires, but I know that there was a gas leak involved, so it's not nearly the same thing. But you get the idea. Most of the disasters, especially where fire is involved, sort of involve an element of a catalyst, usually by human agency, that sort of just pushes things in the right direction for everything to go batshit crazy. The reason I say that is because that's an analogy that's completely applicable to conspiracy theories and cultural beliefs, which need to find society in the right zeitgeist and the right frame of mind for it to catch the right kind of attention of everybody. I think one of the other examples that you can talk about this way is Tiger King, because while it is a true crime documentary, it just like balances itself on that border of fact and fiction so well that the fact that it comes out right when the quarantine hits sort of creates this perfect storm for it to be viral and for something that everybody talks about for a documentary that's 7 parts long. But in today's case, as you might have read the title already, the case today is about the conspiracy theory that has been going around about Wayfair Furniture and their links, their possible links to child trafficking. I wouldn't be surprised if you said that you've heard it already, because this has been everywhere. I'm not kidding. It got out of Twitter and it got out of Reddit, and it got on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, everywhere. The thread about this story has been everywhere. I've seen at least 17 to 18 YouTubers make videos about this. Some of them, actually most of them, in a light that I did not really appreciate, playing into the conspiracy theory, which is, that's how groupthink works, I guess, which is sad, but not necessarily the worst thing in the world. We all get played sometimes. We all give into some things that are a little more truer than the others, and it's not really embarrassing that you fall for an internet hoax, to be honest. It's happened to me a bunch of times. This is a really bad idea to confess this on main, but like, I don't know if you guys know, when I was younger, much younger, I used to think Omegle was a good idea. I thought I met Cristiano Ronaldo there, and I told everybody I met Cristiano Ronaldo, and then it turns out it was just a footage of somebody playing Cristiano Ronaldo, and I was pretty embarrassed with that. And that's okay. Shit happens. Internet is a weird place, and to be honest, how much authenticity can you assign to something that you see in audio video format? Like, you got to give it time to like assign some kind of credibility to it. So anyway, we'll talk about something that a lot of people bought out of this story. The Wayfair Furniture theory, I'll first set up how the cultural zeitgeist is perfect. It's because, especially with what's happening in America, and along with the global pandemic of everybody sitting inside, and literally the entire society, human civilization as we understand it in like most places, has been turned into a prison. You can go outside without a mask and probably get arrested. I mean, I don't know how many of you know about Maharashtra, but Mumbai and Pune have a 5-day complete lockdown where you can't be seen outside the house for any reason at all, even with a mask. All the stores are shut down, and we were told to stack up for 5 days. And I mean, we did, of course. But that's how things are currently, and that's why it's easier to like sell something about a dystopian state to the general public. Not to say the state means well always. There's a lot of good evidence that has come out very credible in these times that to say that the state does not mean well. But that aside, let's talk about the conspiracy theory at hand. So during this time, somebody goes on QAnon, which I should point out is a place of conspiracy theory that has been hibernating to go viral for a very long time. I don't know how many of you know about Q and how it has come along, but for a very long time, there has been a profound belief that every president since Ronald Reagan to Barack Obama has been an agent that works for the deep state, a state controlled by the wealthiest, the most richest people in the world, and they have a certain designated dictator at the center of this entire key operation, and he's the one who actually controls the United States majorly, and then the world politics with help of controlling just the United States. That's the conspiracy theory that they played into. And let's understand what the allegation is, because it's quite dark. Is that this person who is the head of Q is actually funneling the majority amount of money that they have for running their organization by child trafficking and child pornography manufacture. Both of them heinous crimes. And those are the crimes that they've accused the entire machinery of the US government, from the top executive officer to down, of being since Ronald Reagan. And the only person who's against that is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the outsider who's come in, and he's the only one, because he tweeted once, playing into the QAnon politics, that there has to be something done about the missing children. And I agree, something has to be done about missing children. I live in India. It is horrible. I think we are one of the worst places in the democratic world to have a port of human trafficking. If I'm not wrong, there's companies which run Bollywood which have been associated with child trafficking and sex trafficking rackets, and there are ports in our country that sort of work towards this crime, which is heinous, to be honest, and it's quite nauseating to read about it. And I wonder how much of it is true. Now, let's understand why it went viral. It's because recently a documentary came out that sort of brought forward the one allegation in which case they were right, that being rich could facilitate you with so much power and so much pull to commit a heinous crime, a crime as heinous as child prostitution and solicitation of child prostitution for other people. In the case of Jeffrey Epstein, especially with the documentary that came out on Netflix, everybody sort of came aware of what happened with Epstein. The Epstein thing was sort of limited to the circles of the internet for a very long time until this documentary came along, or even before that, when the Epstein didn't kill himself meme had not gone viral. Till then, it was a very limited conversation, but it sort of went viral, and then I can see why a profound distrust in the rich and the powerful would come through in this case. And after that, this conspiracy theory comes forward where Wayfair has a lot of furniture which is exorbitantly priced. I'm talking millions and millions of dollars amount in the cost of these the furniture styles. And this is benign furniture such as wardrobes, cupboards, and pillows and things like that, which should be about $30 each. I'm not sure. I really don't know how Americans think in money, but whatever, you get the idea. And then there was the same thing, like the same product had two different costs, and a lot of these had the names of women or female children associated with them, something like Janine or Jian, something like that. That's one of the names off the top of my head, but I think I can save a link to wayfair.com and you can go check out names that they have enlisted. Now, the people thought that this is a way to like sell children in the name of furniture. Like you can book these children because of this cost. And they validated it by looking at those names and then Googling those names for missing children and then finding children that have gone missing in the past 5 years and like sort of taken that child trafficking data and corresponded it with this product. That instead of this cupboard, they're actually selling children through this website or publicly listing it. That was the core of the conspiracy theory. And then the armchair investigation began onto the extent of how far this goes. And one of the first posts that went viral had the picture of a lady who was about 16 or 17 when she went missing. And then they sort of said how this is a weird coincidence that goes on and on and on and on. And that's where the conspiracy theory started. Now, let's deal with this one-on-one because I know you'll get confused if I go too forth, or I'll get confused while speaking when I go too fast. So, the person who was the face of the person who went missing made a video on Twitter and shared it online saying that I haven't gone missing. This is a picture that you put because my name comes first when you Google this. I think her name starts with S, I forget. And she sort of let everyone know that I haven't gone missing. I'm completely fine. I don't think she was lost and found, but she never went missing in the first place. But whoever created the thread needed a face to make it go viral. That's how it worked. That's how they called it out. Now, when it comes to the exorbitantly priced cupboards, the defense that somebody on the internet pointed out, and I think everybody knows about this person, is Moist Kritikal. He's a streamer I watch quite often. He said that one of the reasons these items are priced the way they are is because they don't want to remove the listing from the website of this thing when it's out of stock until it's manufactured again and it's in stock again. They can still keep it in stock on paper and not have it taken down from the listing because it creates too much work and loops of work and things like that. So they just increase the price but to an exorbitant amount where nobody would buy something like this. And he tried to buy a pillow like that from Wayfair after that, and it did not work. That's how this conspiracy theory got debunked on prima facie, at least on Kritikal's face, from the Wayfair point of view. And after that comes the part where Yandex gets involved. Yandex is a Russian search engine, and when you put some of the product IDs from Wayfair into Yandex, it reroutes to pictures of children. Now here's the key information. While this is a very weird glitch that I can't explain, these are not the same children by the same name. These are different children that come up with different names. So your information is incoherent on that face, that if it is to sell a product and Wayfair is being used to sell a product, then why would they put a listing of a different child than it is named in the name of Wayfair? I feel like that's a gaping hole in the logic of this theory, and I think that's where it just loses credibility for me, at least, that they just connected these dots. While the good connection, it is well woven. It took some time to understand this. So it's not exactly a bad one. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. This was not for a viral marketing stunt or anything like that. I'm pretty sure that this is a well-meaning person who just thinks they're on a thread of truth. But credibility becomes a huge issue once a logical inconsistency like that comes into a theory. And after that, of course, is a weird post by Tom Hanks, which has tied up everybody into this, by which way he Googled SRC USA. He didn't Google, he put up a picture on Instagram with a glove and SRC USA written on the ground. Now, I looked it up. SRC USA is a marking that American construction workers are given by the government to tell them that underground in this place there is wiring, or there is some construction work that we have done that connects 2 points, either in terms of wire or in terms of communication. And please do not dig through here recklessly. That's what it's going for, as far as I understand. But I can't really remember the connection that they made with Tom Hanks on that. And I think SRC then led them to some child-based data. And the sad thing here is the crime is not stopped. The crime is completely real. There are a lot of children, even in the United States, that go missing every year. I think 1,500 children go missing every day. 1,548, something like that. That's a number in the millions by the end. And when you just do the maths, any female name, especially a Judeo-Christian sounding name that is slightly biblical, will be very common in these parts of the world. And I don't see why any human name could be looked up and it would show up in a child missing in listing. I don't think that's a credible way of crunching data in the first place, especially when you're doing an armchair investigation. And then we come to Ghislaine Maxwell and her arrest. Now, let's understand that Jeffrey Epstein was an actual criminal and he got caught with loads of incriminating data. And right before his big testimony, he was unalived. Basically, he was game-ended. And, or, he killed himself, whichever. I'm not going to promote any more conspiracy theories, my personal beliefs aside. And his girlfriend has been recently arrested in relations to this crime as a facilitator of solicitation of child prostitution. And she's facing quite heavy charges, and as rightfully so. I genuinely believe that this could also hurt, while it is not an intentional effort to make this a logical connection. The threads are looser in reality than they are in my head. This could be a way to discredit this trial and find an unbiased jury, because in these cases that's genuine concern. And if not, it could still harm the jury. Like, whether or not this is an intentional way to affect the Ghislaine Maxwell investigation or not, it could hurt it. And again, another connection I saw being made to this is another one of QAnon's favorite conspiracy theories. The one where Hillary Clinton is running a pedophile ring out of a pizza shop or a pizza outlet. And this has been old. This is like election old. This is 4 years old when it went viral the first time. And Donald Trump has been very smart to pander to the QAnon audience. There is a considerable number of them. They are seen at Trump rallies over and over, to the point that Bill Maher, a mainstream TV anchor, felt the need to talk about him. And while I will say that Anonymous or other hacktivist groups are doing so much to stop child pornography and these heinous crimes that are propagated and facilitated by the internet, I am pretty certain that this is not how it would go. And these big people would use anything but Tor to do a child pornography ring. Not to say that they are, but if they were, I don't think this is how they would do it. I mean, I think Lolita City, which is a difficult thing to pin down, that's something that we talked about before, a heinous child pornography ring, is using Tor, and 1,500 people got caught off of it thanks to tireless work of some hacktivist groups and police officers that are working on the ground. So please, circulating hoaxes, especially when they're unverified and uncredited, talk about them with your friends. That's I can't stop you from that, but definitely this theory does not hold up to me. That's my 20 minutes on it. Thank you. That will be all for episode 82. I hope you enjoyed that. If you find the content informative and worth supporting, please consider supporting us on Patreon. By us, I mean me. It's only me who's making all of this. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share it shamelessly. Let your friends know that I'm doing this. And if you haven't checked out my meme essays already, or like my meme video essays or whatever, it's called Musings About Memes. It's YouTube exclusive. What are you doing? I mean, I just mean, please go check it out. It is content I put a lot of effort into, and I will not stop plugging it at the end of every episode. So you do with that information what you think is